Hello, Patrinis. This is Ray again. And as you can see, I'm joined by good friend Noel. Noel, how you going?
Cheers.
Cheers. We're about to jump into what will be one of the early episodes for 2021. And we're going to be doing two episodes, basically kind of splitting up our long episode into bite-sized pieces. So this is one of the first times that Noel and I will do it. So new format, bear with us. Hopefully it will come out all right. And the idea is to release one twice a week, once early in the week, and what will be the Conscious Relics a bit later on in the week. All right. So ready, Mr. Tate?
I am.
Excellent. All right, Patrinis, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 181, and you are with your High Priest of Khonshu, Ray. G'day. And at the beginning of this week, at the beginning of this year, hello. Massive apologies for going that week off. A storm kind of banged around our internet, so we were out without internet for just under a week. So I wasn't able to record, but we are back in full force, and with me tonight is returning guest co-host, frontman of Deleta. For those of you that don't know, they provide the awesome music to the podcast, Looney, and also Looney Tunes from the Hunt for Khonshu's Golden Scepter, the serial. Noel, Looney Tunes, Tate. Noel, welcome back.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hello. It's good to have you back. It does seem like a long time since we've, had a bit of a chat. Fortuitously, actually, Noel, it seems to be when you do jump on, we have some pretty cool news. So it's I think last time we had you on, there was the announcement of it still hasn't been announced. It was the unofficial announcement of Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight.
That's right.
But we've got a bit of news to come, Looney. So what is going to happen generally in this first episode of the week? You'll get 2 episodes of ITK in the week in this new format. It will be an idle chat. So it will be basically all the latest news, plus a specific topic, about Moon Knight that myself and guest co-hosts will chat about. Later on in the week, we will be doing our typical reviews, all guided by the phases of the moon. So that could be anything from film reviews to Khonshu's Relics, to comic book reviews as well. So for this episode, for our idle chat, Noel, we've got a little bit of a thing called unsung aspects. So I wanted to have a bit of a chat with you, Noel, about what are some of the aspects of Moon Knight that aren't necessarily used all that often, but that you find interesting, or that you want to see actually reused in later runs. I think that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, though, let's jump. We have a ton of news actually to get through. So before we actually get into that, I must thank you, all the patroonies, all our gracious patroonies, for continuing your support. Thank you so much. It really does help, and it helps us build the show as well. So a big thank you to Daniel, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Jordan, Josh, James, Russell, and Anthony. A huge thank you as well. Incidentally, for those Frenchie tiers and above, you'll note in the Patreon feed starting to trickle in some character designs of the characters featured in our serial adventure. A lot of fun. Noel's character has been fleshed out. Very cool. I've given Noel a sneak peek. And for Patroonies, you'll be privy to the early designs and the development of characters along the way. So that's just one of the incentives that you can get by considering to drop some coin our way. Also, a big thank you to Hello Headphones, empowering gamers to play at their best, and Dreamland Comics, the superhero superstore. So, Noel.
Yes.
Out of... first of all, God, geez, how are you? Going straight into it. Jeez, Ray's got the blinkers on. How are you going, Noel?
Who cares how I'm doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm doing fine.
Cool.
As they say, it's same as last year, but it's a new year, and yeah, fine. Same shit, different day.
So, okay, fair enough. Saying it's a bit icy over there as well recently. Still is?
Yeah, we've been having actually a relatively mellow winter for Minnesota and the Midwest. Usually we have several feet of snow by now, and we haven't had a whole lot. In fact, we really didn't get any until right before like December 25th, like the 23rd or 4th or something like that.
Okay.
Other than that, we didn't really have any at all. And so we just had, like an ice kind of storm yesterday, but normally we would have had lots of snow, but it was kind of an icy sludge instead, which is fine. Some people really like winter stuff, snow and all the things that go with it, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't dislike it either, but I'm not an outdoorsy winter kind of person myself.
Yeah.
So
Don't like to rug up. Don't like to rug up in a ultra thick jacket. No, yeah.
No, I like hiking and stuff in the nicer weather, but
yeah.
I'm not gonna buy some snowshoes and hit the fucking mountains or something.
Go to Antarctica. There you go. You try something totally different. Yeah, that is weird. I was just we were chatting with Eve's parents as well. They're over in Germany, close enough to the Netherlands because they just live across the border. But their Christmas and like New Year's as well has brought in back a lot of snow. Recently, they I think the last few years has been really as similar to what you're saying, I guess, really kind of wet instead and not snowy during their winter. So obviously global climates have changed, but this year / last year they got some really good snow. They sent us some photos of their backyard. All white, really nice.
When it's brand new, it's really pretty. But the second, it's like when you live in a city, it only takes a few hours before it all, even if it's a lot of snow, it just turns to shit. Salt. They salt in the roads and put chemicals down.
Right.
Kind of nasty, and
the smoke and smog and stuff and ash kind of. I don't know why you have ash, but it mixes in.
Some places too. My brother lives in Seattle, and they have ash all the time.
Oh, really? Mount St. Helens, is that okay?
Yeah, and Mount Hood is another one, I think that.
Another active one. Yeah.
Yeah, Chad's gonna yell at me because he lives out there too. For forgetting which one. Been there a lot. I've even been to Chad's hometown. But I always kind of forget which mountains are around there. It's all beautiful, so I don't know.
Did you sense when you were there? Did you sense a vibe? Did you sense Chad?
I haven't been there for a few years. Not since I've met Chad.
Oh, okay. So you were there pre-Chad.
Yeah. Next time I go out there, I'm going. Yeah, pre-Chad. It was pre-Chad times. Next time I go out there, I'm going to try to get out to his Port Angeles area because it's beautiful. I've stayed there before.
You could have easily just passed him in the service station or in the supermarket. Before. Who knows?
It's very true. I could have. Then I probably didn't though. I would have felt his vibe. His dark vibe.
His dark vibe. Absolutely. Yeah, no, cool. A big shout out, Loonies. For those that you have listened to many times, we are referring to the power of Chad, a valued Looney. Jumps on the show every now and again as well. But yeah. All right. Yeah. Anything else? We've got Australia Day coming up.
What is that?
It's just a day to be very patriotic. A lot of people, there's, more recently, a lot of people are calling it Invasion Day and want to change the day because it is the day that I guess the settlers, England, came over and invaded the country, slaughtered,
criminals there.
Exactly, put a lot of criminals, did a lot of injustice to a lot of the Indigenous people. So it always comes with a bit of, and I'd agree as well. Maybe they should change the date. No reason why it should be 26th.
They've done things like that. Well, in America, there's several dumb patriotic days. Of course, we have our Independence Day, the 4th of July.
Yeah.
It's never meant much to me. There's also a thing that they're really phasing out, Columbus Day, which is
Oh,
a
never.
day supposedly.
Oh, no, no, heard
It's the
that.
day they celebrate Columbus coming to do some of the same things,
Yep.
slaughter the indigenous people,
Yeah, exactly.
spread disease and whatever. Thanksgiving is another weirdly,
Okay.
they try to play it up like it's a coming together of invaders and native people, but it's really not.
It's not.
So Columbus Day is one of the more offensive ones, and they've changed this. My city, Minneapolis, is actually there's no more Columbus Day. They actually call it like Indigenous Peoples Day now.
Okay. Well,
They've
that's
completely flipped
yeah.
the script on it, and so that's
That's
cool.
very
And I
progressive.
think every country kind of has. I think Canada has a
Oh,
Canada Day.
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm a little shocked that America doesn't have just like United States Day, but I guess that's what Independence Day is too. But just the name,
Yeah, I think
is a
so.
little different.
I think so. Because the Dutch have they have King's Day, which is basically their
Right.
national day. So it's just an excuse. It's kind of grown. It's really funny. Sorry, Lenny's. We'll get to things soon. It's really grown a little where because I remember when I was young, it was just Australia Day. For me, it was like a public holiday. It's just like you acknowledge it's Australia Day, whatever. Now we have people, putting flags on their cars, wearing flags as capes, all that sort of crazy pizzazz. It's like, really? It's just, let's just.
They're getting very American about
it. Oh, well, yeah, just getting really, really into it. Like I'm super.
Well, American style. I'm saying that's people here will, wear like shorts with the American flag.
Oh, absolutely.
On the 4th of July,
paint their face.
Drink, paint their.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big nationalist type myself. So
yeah. But anyway, I mean that's coming up. So by the time this actually, it would be just a little bit after the episode towards the end of the week that we have. Oh yeah, so it falls on a Tuesday. A lot of people then will be taking the Monday off. So 4-day weekend, woohoo, coming up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Monday for us is actually a holiday that has been instated since I've been born. I think it came out when I was a kid. Is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So that's a day my partner has off from teaching at school that day, and it seemed one a little bit more to celebrate.
Yep. Oh, okay, that makes sense because I was talking to Phil, and he was saying that he had a long weekend coming up. So I did not know what the weekend was for, but okay, cool. So anyway, Loonies, we're gonna. I think maybe no. I mean, because there's a bit that's happened since the beginning of the year, say, and the show's been off for a while. But so why don't we kind of like work backwards, like the latest and greatest, and kind of go into the other news that came before, because I'm sure we've got a lot to talk about with the latest stuff. So Loonies, you would have probably seen in our group, on social media, that sort of thing. It is not official as yet, but Ethan Hawke has been allegedly cast as the main antagonist to the Moon Knight TV show, Noel. So, initial reactions to that. What do you reckon? Were you happy with this?
Yeah, anybody from Goonies is good in my book.
Is he from Goonies?
Wasn't he in Goonies?
Oh,
pretty sure.
Maybe. Oh, am I thinking? No, that was Josh Hartnett.
Yep.
Josh Brolin. It was.
Yep, Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
it was Josh Brolin. You're right. He's been in a lot of things I have.
Reality Bites, he was in. I remember that. That was in the big in the 90s. Also Gattaca, which is a big. And also Dead Poet Society, I guess, was one of the big ones.
Dead Poet Society would be the big one.
Yeah. But a massive name. I mean, he is a big name.
Yeah, huge name. Great actor.
Yeah. I think it's a great win.
I think so too. Well, he said he was never
going
to be a superhero.
I know. So that's come up in social media as well, going, he's kind of turned, money's kind of talked, hasn't it?
Well, technically, it's not a movie.
That's true. It's a TV series, so yeah, he has skirted around that issue. But who do you? I mean, this is the big thing that is a buzz in our community at the moment. Noel, who do you reckon he might be playing, or who would you want him to play?
Well, yeah, a lot of people have been saying different things. Obviously, they've been saying Black Spectre would be a big one. A couple of people have brought up him being Bushman, which I think could be interesting, sort of flipping that script. And a couple people, some people, of course, say no, he needs to be, a Black African character, and other people saying that that's a bit outdated these days. And they've flipped. I personally don't think like the color of Bushman's skin would matter too much to the character himself, especially if Ethan Hawke could play that kind of mania, which I don't know. Maybe he could, maybe he couldn't. But I've liked a lot of the suggestions people have had. Some people have said, yeah, Black Spectre or him, Bushman, or Jack Russell, even, which could be fun.
I think he's got a bit of he's got a bit of a werewolf vibe to me.
He's got a werewolf thing, but my favorite suggestion at all is him playing Khonshu, which I think would be cool because depending on not even depending on the run, Khonshu's kind of always an antagonist to Mark.
That's true.
He's just Mark's almost it's his personal anti-hero sort of, where he helps him, but he curses him as much as he curses him more than he praises him. I think.
Oh yeah,
Ethan Hawke has a cool voice, and him doing that voice kind of in Mark's head, I think, could be pretty neat. And that's like not a high commitment as far as acting goes. It's like, I do a voice.
Oh, you think it's just a voice? If he is Khonshu, not.
Yeah, because depending on how they do Khonshu, I think they would probably do the statue more than maybe the bird, and maybe later on bringing in kind of the other aspects of but leaving him more ambiguous, and maybe a voice in Mark's head would be a lot cooler. But I would really like to see, if all the things turn out to be the way they are, Oscar Isaac and Ethan Hawke play against each other, and no matter who he's playing, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. That's interesting I didn't, because I had seen people say, oh, he'd be a good Khonshu. I hadn't, because I would have thought he's such a big name. It would be a waste to not use him visually. But I think the voice thing is a good.
Well, that's what that's what they're doing for the next Thor with
Christian Bale.
Playing, Gore the God. Yeah, Christian Bale playing Gore the God Butcher. I don't
think
he's going to be in much of a.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's I mean, I guess they don't care at the end of the day. It's a job for them, and if they do voice acting, I think that's actually a really good take. I hadn't considered. I thought maybe he would be personified as Khonshu, and just I don't know, a guy in a suit or something. Kind of like the devil, on his shoulder. I would love to see Black Spectre. I'd love to see Carson Knowles. I think he'd be really cool. And maybe partially having said that, because recently we had reviewed that awesome Benson run with Texera. If they do something like that, that would be so cool. But yeah, I think the sky's the limit with Ethan Hawke, just the way his kind of presence and his aesthetics as well. Someone mentioned Morpheus. I can also see that,
Yeah, I can see that. I forgot about that. That would be a really good one too. He's just creepy enough to pull that off. And that one they could do a lot more practical. Obviously, he would actually be in the show. But
imagine that, Mr. Hawke. We are.
Where would you rank Morpheus with Moon Knight's villains? Down a couple. There's hasn't been a lot.
Exactly. He certainly does give. For me. I'm just quickly scanning my brain. Morpheus is certainly the most superhuman-y, super powered-y villain that he has. So he's kind of niched out that corner, as in Moon Knight's rogues gallery. Because if you look at the others, Bushman, Black Spectre, kind of just heavy kind of thugs.
Yeah, I agree. It's why Morpheus is. I mean, he's done the ranking, but I mean, we'll tie into our main topic. But Morpheus is one of my favorites for that matter. That it's more supernatural. Weird
and the big supernatural one would be the Jack Russell. I would love to see. Actually, for me, my favorites would be Black Spectre, or to have Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night. That would be so cool, because again, if this is going to be a springboard into potential MCU appearances and stuff, then you have Jack Russell crossing over with, say, Blade, because it's werewolves vampires, all that sort of jazz. I think that will work really well. I'd love to think also as well that since they have cast Ethan Hawke, that there is potential, that there is maybe some thought already of having Moon Knight crossover into some MCU, because Ethan, I don't know, he's just a big name. Like, you know, for me, I associate him with movies like more than TV shows. So yeah,
Absolutely.
so very cool indeed.
Well, was the article, did it specifically say villain or antagonist? Because if it's antagonist, Jack Russell is a pretty good call for
yeah.
that. Because he's not I mean, he was the hero of the comic.
True. Yes. I think it got, well, I'm looking at it now. So where I'm going off, and the ones I've linked to are the Hollywood Reporter articles. So they, I think they're the more reputable ones. There's a couple other articles that we'll get to as well, which I've got from them. Just pulling it up. Oh, I've picked the wrong one. I got this villain. Okay. Villain. Yep. So yeah. I mean, you know, again, Jack Russell could be seen as a villain quickly and then turned into an ally.
Well, I mean, Doug kind of mentioned, I think it was with the interview that you did with him. I mean, he said, you know, he was the star of our series, but he's a werewolf.
Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. It's a hard one it's a nice fine line. So Jack Russell's a lot more ambiguous compared to, say, the pretty straightforward Bushman, who we know is a big dick. Anyway, speaking of more casting, though, Noel, lesser known, but I like this casting. May Kalamoe is cast in Moon Knight show as well. Now, some of you would be familiar with more recently Rami. It's a TV series. I've watched the first episode. I think it's pretty cool. I want to catch more of it. She doesn't appear in the first episode, so I've got to watch more. But she plays the sister, right? Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
And it seems to be she's more of a TV actor. So the stuff like The Brave, Long Road Home, and of course there's Rami. There is a horror film called Jinn, which she plays, I think, the big bad in it. So it's just some evil Egyptian spirit. Again, it's set in Egypt. So I think she's born in Bahrain as well, in case anyone wants to know. But again, speculation as to who she might be. Look, the big thing for me would be Marlene, I reckon. I'm not sure about you, Noel.
I think Scarlett is who she.
Oh, Scarlett Fasanera. That would be awesome if she does.
I mean, that was the first thing that popped into my head about it, just because I knew that she played the big bad in the horror movie. That I know that she can play scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she would be. I mean, they were looking for people to play Marlene,
and they were and sorry, they were also looking for an Egyptian ally as well. So she could be like an original character that they've made. But yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible that she's I mean, it sounds like we might be getting some more adventures of Mark Spector. I hope people don't get too pissed if they don't get into Moon Knight right away. I think it would be kind of cool to get some of Mark Spector's background, or maybe even if it's in flashback, to some of his adventures, what he's up to before he becomes Moon Knight. So yeah, she could very much be an original character.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind maybe, because I think they're saying Kevin Feige. Nothing's confirmed yet. So Kevin Feige said in an article as well, they are playing around with the format of the show. So what we've seen with WandaVision, say for instance, it's getting 9 episodes, but they're shorter episodes, and they range from 25 minutes to half an hour, something like that. Or Feige says that we'll make less episodes, but longer, more substantial ones, so like 47, 50-minute episodes. So the current take is that the likes of She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, and Moon Knight will be about 6 episodes, and they reckon it would be around the 45-minute to hour mark. I would love to see maybe one of the episodes dedicated to to an origin, to maybe pre Moon Knight. That would be pretty cool. Or as you say, maybe
I'd like to see it
actually maybe
sprinkled
just
throughout the series,
throughout,
you know,
just some time.
just to get sort of the vibe of some of Mark's mental illness, about having the show be a lot more kind of not kinetic, more messed up, and kind of like an unreliable narrator, unreliable timeline, you know, like sort of in the vein of Legion, but not quite like that. But just the kind of confusing aspects, I think, could be of that show could be well incorporated.
Yeah,
Something like Moon
yeah.
Knight, I think.
I am also as well. Look, I'm clutching at straws because trying to find clues within the small bits of evidence that we have, and I was looking at May's Kalamoi's profile, and what I think is because she's hitting around about that early to mid 30s age bracket, and I thought, okay, well, does that mean then, because we know Mark Spector, like Oscar Isaac, is cast as 40 something, late 30s, mid 40s. Would that then mean that should be more likely to be more of a Marlene than, say, maybe an Egyptian ally or friend? But that's just me purely speculating. So in any case, we do get, I guess anyway, the age. If you look at the age bracket, it's around about that mean of ages that you get across most of the heroes, right? Of course, Robert Downey Jr. is a bit older, potentially Benedict Cumberbatch, but yeah, Moon Knight is meant to be a bit more of a seasoned player than, say, of course, Spider-Man. Yeah, so I don't know. That for me, I'm thinking my money. I've got my money on her as Marlene, but it could be totally wrong.
She could be. She's a beautiful woman. I mean, see, it doesn't matter. I don't need a blonde French lady.
Well, that's the thing. That's another thing that people would be, I guess, contesting. Like, they're changing the mold of Marlene. But hey, look, the first time we see Marlene, she is in Sudan. She is on an archaeological trip with her father. So there's absolutely no reason why she has to be like Caucasian or white. I mean, exactly. Oh yeah.
Too, so.
Yeah, actually, and that's one of the things I'd love to see her kicking ass a bit more in the series. Hopefully, we see that. Hopefully, we don't get the sense of. Hopefully, we don't just get her in lingerie in the bedroom like the comics. Maybe once. There's got to be a nod there somewhere to the comic book fans. Also as well, so a couple other things. So moving backwards, so those were the two big casting hits, but we also get these indie directors, Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson, were announced, and this is, God, I've lost track. This is official. This one may be official. Okay, the other two weren't, but it's kind of as good as gold. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with casting, they try to keep it more ambiguous, but with some of the crew, they've definitely been announcing it. I mean, Kevin Feige hasn't said it, but it's 99% sure. I think. I even think maybe those guys, they're kind of a pair. Yeah. They've done a lot of movies together, mostly horror films and sci-fi films.
Yes,
if I remember right. Which is pretty cool. And I guess I haven't seen it. I'm not a horror movie watcher, so I don't know. But I was just reading up on some of them, and people are very
me too.
So
I'm exactly in your boat as well. I'm just hearing off the back of what other people say, and people are like lauding these guys. So I cannot wait. Is it raising any, not flags, but is it raising any I just call them flags anyway for you, Noel, in the sense that these guys have directed horror. We've got May Kalamaui that has been in Jinn, a horror flick, Jeremy Slater, the likes of The Exorcist. Do you think we're going to get like a horror-based Moon Knight?
No, but I think it is going to be, they're going to lead into some of the psychological sort of horrors of it. I mean, it's still Disney Plus, I just think it's going to be scarier. Like, it may be more horror-like than even the Doctor Strange that the old director was talking about. But I think it's just like there's a lot of horror. I mean, John Watts, who's been doing the Spider-Man movies, is going to be and
Yeah.
doing the Fantastic Four thing.
Oh,
He's
it did.
did some
Okay.
horror films too. It's mhm, uh, as well as some like kind of
Mhm.
funnier, weird films as well. But I think they're just tapping like some of the biggest talent right now, kind of underground or indie kind of Hollywood stuff
Okay.
is doing kind of horror, like budget horror and like just weirder thing. I mean, you have to be
Mm.
very inventive on a small budget to do some of that stuff. So I think there's just some great
Okay.
talent coming out of that pool that Marvel's been pulling from for a while. I mean, the guy, what I can't remember his name now. The guy who did
Derek
Doctor
Robertson.
Strange.
Robertson.
No,
Yeah,
the
isn't that guy
director.
Derek?
I cannot remember his name, but he was known for
Yes.
doing.
Yeah. So everyone thought that he would be bringing a huge horror vibe to it.
Mhm. And there wasn't. That was
Yes.
cool, strange stuff, but it wasn't. And he had said he wanted the second film to be the
Scott Derrickson. I think it was a
Scott
Derek in there. What was that? Derek Robertson. Yeah.
Close enough. But he had said before he decided to quit the project that it was going to be the first horror film.
Sam Raimi's no slouch with horror anyway, so
I mean,
yeah,
exactly.
Evil.
Done, a lot of horror. So yeah, them pulling from that kind of branch of the indie world is not surprising to me. It's a little surprising to me because they had announced that other director,
Mohammed
Diab,
Diab, yeah,
who had done a bunch of kind of Diab, who's I haven't watched any of these films, but I watched a bunch of clips and trailers for all of this stuff, and it looks awesome. And it's like for more action
nice.
and like the tense kind of stuff. That will look really cool. So kind of a mix of those things. Maybe they've pulled this other pair in to do some to do more of the supernatural kind of episodes, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget as well. Cool. So Jeremy Slater he's the showrunner. So I'm assuming he's a guy that has his overall vision for the show, and he'll be kind of pushing Mohammed Diab and the likes of Benson and Moorhead into these particular directions and say, go for it. This is where we want to take Moon Knight. So it'd be very interesting. I think I'm getting so excited because it looks like they're getting the right ingredients for this show. Really can't wait to see it. And finally, as well, we have Greg. We have Greg Middleton. So again, probably another confirmed crew member. He's a cinematographer. And so anyway, he went on, I can't remember if it was on Instagram or Twitter, and he confirmed basically Oscar Isaac is in the role. He said something along the lines of, I feel so honored, or I can't wait to work with Oscar for this film. So that was that last bit of news, which kind of was, I guess, confirming our previous conversation and discussion, Noel, when we were speculating on this first bit of news that Oscar Isaac was Moon Knight, and there was no backing to it, but Greg Middleton seems to. I contacted Greg as well. I said, would you mind coming on the show, just have a good chat? And he sent back a really nice reply, like saying, it's so great. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he goes, I can't. He said, we can't discuss any of it. I'm not allowed to discuss any of it. I was thinking to myself, well, you kind of like leaked a big leak anyway with Oscar Isaac, but I'm very happy to get his response anyway. I might drop a line. So,
he's done wow, did he? Stuff. He did Watchmen, HBO series. Yeah, he did some episodes of like Game of Thrones and other shit like that too. But he's a
so we know then. I mean, and we've seen it with The Mandalorian and the likes, that these TV shows from Disney Plus are very cinematic anyway. I mean, they're big in the scope, kind of akin to basically full-length feature films. So this is the sort of quality we're getting. So hopefully, and I know he probably will then bring that to the table, Greg Middleton. So, yeah, so there you go, Loonies. The big bits of news that have dropped over the last few weeks, all to do with the TV series. I'm sure there's something in the works for comic books, Noel. I haven't heard anything though, but we.
Nope, I've been tweeting at
Oh,
Marvel.
nice. Yeah, nice.
Where's
Yeah,
that
actually,
goddamn Moon Knight comic?
what I can ask maybe Master the Loonies as well, what Noel has done. It doesn't take much. Maybe drop a line even on Twitter or something. Just let them know that there are a lot of Moon Knight fans hankering for not only the TV show but the comics. And I'm sure if there's enough voice, that they'll respond.
I was harassing Dan Slott even. I know some people don't want him to write Moon Knight, obviously, but I mean he's been a fan since he was a kid. So when are you doing some Moon Knight?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'd love to, but I'm doing Fantastic Four and it's my dream job. It's like whatever. And I'm sure people would be like, no, I do not want to Dan Slott Moon Knight, and I don't blame you. But even that, I mean, he's a Marvel, do or die kind of guy, and just bugging people like him, just being
exactly.
What's going on over there? I'm sure he's telling people like Tom Brevoort and stuff. Like,
I know, yeah, we're going to get a series on. We need a good pitch, that sort of thing. And Dan Slott, look, he knows, he knows his stuff as well. And yeah, of course, people have different opinions about different writers and such. And I've got nothing against, say, the likes of Donny Cates, because I think he writes a lot of really good stories as well. But for someone that self-admits that he knows nothing on Moon Knight, I would rather a writer that actually knows the material than one that is, maybe semi-interested in doing the research. So anyway.
Yeah, especially if it's a kind of a reintroduction after the show, I wouldn't mind. That's why I wouldn't mind something like Dan Slott. It was just like, okay, we're going to get back to basics, I mean, Dan does.
Yeah, he does.
Also
I mean, even if he's
pretty hard, but
yeah. Do you think now? This is a bit of a maybe I'm kind of leading the witness here, Noel. But do you think that the TV show will have a huge bearing on the comic book series when it comes out, as in how Moon Knight's represented? Yeah,
it could. I mean, it's had everyone always says about how Tony Stark hasn't been the same since Robert Downey Jr. has played him. He's been Robert Downey Jr.
No.
But it hasn't been that way with all the Captain America hasn't become Chris Evans, because Chris Evans really was Captain America. He was Captain America. He was Steve Rogers. He was playing the role out of the comic book. I mean, he brought a little bit more, I wouldn't even say maybe a little bit more charisma to the character, but I mean, a lot of Cap comics, he doesn't have a ton of charisma anyway. So to put a little bit of a human, moving element to him, of course he's going to.
Yeah. I mean,
but so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Even if it's down to a costume or something, I mean, they
that's what I'm thinking.
Zdarsky's Daredevil run, they started he doesn't act at all like Daredevil does in the TV show, but the outfit started to look a little bit more like the TV show. And Chip even said, he's like, oh yeah, I thought that costume was cool. I asked if we can kind of incorporate, some of those elements, and even some of the
there certainly seems to be some resemblance between. I mean, not that it's not uncommon for Daredevil stories to be very Kingpin centric and all that sort of stuff, but you do get I get a sense, at least, that Chip Zdarsky's latest run, there is an influence from the TV show in that regard, aesthetically, and a little bit, just not only his. Was that only his run? Might be the other ones as well prior. But I did get that sense. Charles Soule's a little bit before it got really wacky towards the end. But we might get a modified Moon Knight suit to come out of it and to go into the comics. We don't know. Also, just to wrap up that TV news as well, just to mention that on IMDb, I know that's not the be all end all, but they do show that there are 6 episodes, and they do show that the 3 actors, Oscar Isaac, May Calamoy, and Ethan Hawke, are cast as members of the show, as well as Aaron Moorhead, Justin Benson, Mohammed Diab as well. So they're all on IMDb. So it sounds like we're as good as
Check back in about an hour. And
Okay, right. Okay. Okay, so there's not much credence there then. Okay. Fair enough. Right. Well, with that as news there, Noel, why don't we just I know let's just kind of go into this is our idle chat called Unsung Aspects. The topic is Unsung Aspects. So so little used Moon Knight canon, I don't know, that you'd like to see involved in the upcoming TV show, or actually more importantly in the comic book series. I'll let you go first, Noel, if you're keen, or do you want me to go first? Okay. So yeah.
Let's do back.
Okay,
and forth.
cool. So I thought, I mean, there's a few here to choose from. What I would like to see in the comics more is I like this aspect of, it was in the Fist of Khonshu, the strength, and in the earlier classic run as well, about it waxing and waning with the moon. I don't know. I just think it's really, really cool. I've got nothing against Doug Mensch wanting Moon Knight to be just really straight-laced, down to earth, really like a Mensch admitted himself. He didn't want any superpowered characters. He just wanted someone dressed up, just fighting crime. I've got nothing against that, but I do like the idea that the phase of the moon can affect Moon Knight. So yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I actually like that aspect a lot too, and you could kind of ground it in real life. That his mental illness just makes him have more confidence. You know, when the moon ends, like his adrenaline is higher. His like his confidence.
Oh, actually,
more vicious.
Maybe you tie that in then, or maybe you have his. Like I don't know how well it works with DID, but yeah, you have his personalities. You know how people say full moons, people go a little bit, a little bit crazy, a little bit loony. They actually, paramedics are literally. Who told me this? Someone told me this for real. That they do put on more staff and stuff on a full moon, because there just happens to be more activity. It's really strange, so. I think again, I might modify that then to anything moon based to affect Moon Knight, whether it be strength or his personality. I think that'll be really cool. And
I love that idea, because I'm one of the few people who likes the Fist of Khonshu run for those kind of things. And of course, I mean, you were talking with
Chad. Oh, not Chad. Chase.
Yeah. No.
Yes.
Chase, yeah.
The art's beautiful.
He really likes it just for the art. And I agree. I think the art is fantastic in that. But some of the stories are, they changed to a little bit more.
Yeah.
To bring in some more mystical kind of shit. And I kind of like that. I really liked a couple of the issues did have a lot of that kind of cool. Like there was sort of a mix of like espionage and weird Egyptian hoo-ha. That I was kind of cool.
Yeah,
so
I reckon it doesn't have to be like Hulk strength, at a full moon. It's just a little bit more than what a really strong person can do, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And even the comics or the TV show, I think it would just be cool to have that, just like sort of acknowledge that. I mean, they've acknowledged it since, which was the Secret?
Oh yeah.
No, which one was it? When you actually did a like the reenactment of it when he was getting.
Oh yeah.
The Shield psychologist were talking to him, and he was like, "You used to get superpowers."
Yes, that's right.
From the moon.
Yeah, the Tommy Coker. That was a Houston run. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, that was in the Houston run. So they've, they touch on it and stuff, but it'd be cool if because it's an open book, you can do what you want. And I think that would be just kind of a fun play on that. It's like a more grounded way. It's like, no, he doesn't get, he can't like lift a car or tear a phone book in half, but his punches hit a lot harder.
Yes.
He can fall from a lot further because he's just
and playing it again with his I'd rather take a hit than block it. So if you have the moon helping him in some regards, and I think it was in Fist of Khonshu as well, it's just like it happened and all he did was like break some chains, so something just very kind of smallish, but it's still beyond human feet. Yeah, so I reckon that'd be cool. So, how about you, Noel? Then, what do you reckon would be another unsung aspect?
I was thinking about this earlier because I was just reading about some EC comic stuff, and it is kind of some. I know Doug mentioned, like you just said, wanted him to be very grounded and stuff, but there was something. He did bring in some of the kind of more mystical horror kind of aspects of the character that I was, and there was some of it even in in the Else run and in recent runs like in Colin Bunn's run, there was some more kind of horror aspects in that, and I would just whether it's sort of like slasher blah 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 scary kidnapped children horror or more mystical kind of like ghost punk or even I guess or even like science-based sort of horror like Morpheus is like that. I think that's a lot of people kind of forget about. That's been a big part of a lot of Moon Knight stories to me that are like the good ones. Like there's a large chunk where that was taken out, and there's not a lot. It's just the crazy guy who rips off faces or fucks around the Punisher or whatever. The mercenary, or not even the ex-mercenary, violent kind of aspects, but the more sort of almost mystery EC comics, like weird horror kind of stuff, like a Moon Knight over his head, kind of like what a normal guy having to deal with weird shit. I think some of those kind of aspects I would like to see. They're kind of unsung. We all know it.
Yeah,
but it's like,
I know exactly what you mean. Because one of the things I was thinking about, similar to what you're alluding to, was there's that story I think in the classic Moon Knight series, and he deals with. They don't even call them zombies in there. They call them zombies or something, because I think there was some license infringement or something, so they had to change it. But basically, the Comics Code. Okay. They weren't allowed to say zombie. So, so they call it very close. There's something like Zombie or something like that, just from memory. Yeah, right, as the Comics Code. But you get that horror, and I think, I can't remember if it's a separate story, but there's one called The White Angel, and they reckon, because Moon Knight's in his white garb, and they think, oh, he's like a white angel. So those sorts of horror elements, I really dig. I really think that would love to get it more in the comics, because as we've spoken about with the TV show, we might be getting some horror-based things anyway. So, but I want to see more of it in the comics too. Yeah.
Well, I feel like I said, I think they've kind of done it in more recent, like modern, past 10 years, like Ellis and Colin Bunn, who is a horror writer, kind of first and foremost, really picked up on some of those aspects. Like part of the reason Ellis's run is my favorite is each issue is sort of a different aspect of what Moon Knight is all about. But so I would like to see them continue that, because with things they've tried to wrap him up in some of that stuff, like that Ghost Rider series and
the Damnation, was it? No,
I guess it wasn't really Ghost Rider, but the what was that mini series? Yeah, Damnation. Yeah, but it's like they didn't get to really. They just threw him in because they thought, oh, he
has exactly.
He's crazy and he deals with this stuff, but he didn't. There's no bearing in that. And, in the Avengers thing, it was just off the wall. So, it was way too off the wall.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely. The next one I thought, I'm going to change it a little bit. The next one I thought, because I thought it was really cool, I did just some more of the reading of I think it's a Brian Wood run, and it's this other take on Khonshu and Moon Knight's DID, and in it actually the psychiatrist dispels Moon Knight Mark's condition as DID, and it's actually Khonshu inserting the different aspects, like Pathfinder, Defender, Watcher, those aspects of Khonshu, actually putting it in Mark's head, and Mark, his brain, the only way to kind of rationalize all of it is to split these different personalities into it. I like that aspect and interpretation of Mark's identities. I don't know if we will get it again, but I thought it was a very interesting one because it actually leads into also in a way explains the Wolverine, Captain America, Spider-Man identities in the Bendis run, because you could essentially associate maybe potentially aspects of Khonshu for those three guys. So yeah, I thought that would be interesting.
Yeah, and Ellis touched on that too in his very first issue at the end. There's just that quick thing, the psychologist saying, like, you basically you have this otherworldly thing in your head, and that's what's causing your DID, and it's these different aspects. Yeah, and so to get more into like not just the fact that he has DID, but like why he has it, and it had like that would be cool to see both in comic, and I think some of that was explored a little bit in Lemire's run. I mean, it was, but it that also got. I really like that run, but it's not one of my favorites like it is some other people, because I also think it got a little too. It didn't stay heady. I liked how heady it was at first, but then it started to get a little too on the godly, mystical kind of thing. But I still liked the overall story and kind of the way it did break down in the end. I thought was cool. But yeah, really getting the mystery of like
he's pretty much there. Yeah,
in the comics now, it's I guess Khonshu's pretty damn real, but perhaps in the TV show, and they can go back to it in the comics because who gives a shit. I mean, like did this supposed Egyptian god of the moon split this guy's personality in 3 or 4 ways, or is it he is bonkers and this is just another one of his aspects of himself that his own mental illness is having on I just like that idea the most always.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Bemis adds fuel to that fire as well with the whole history that he shows in one of his issues about Mark growing up, and that potentially, and even I think it was his dad. His dad had DID or something as well, just from memory. So it's like a potential, that it was in that issue with Uncle Ernst. Yeah, schizophrenic. There was something. His dad had a mental illness that, So, yeah, that ambiguity is pretty good. Any another unsung aspect that you kind of think would be cool to see again?
Written down, but I think the Soldier of Fortune thing I think should be really pushed again, especially I think in the comics more. Like we've gone over the past couple of the Volume 1, some of those little stories stuffed in the back end of some of those
awesome stuff. And I know
before he was Moon Knight, those stories are just great.
Yeah,
they're just and I think they actually are going to be digging into some of that on the TV show, just because they said it's going to be sort of an Indiana Jones meets other wacky. I think Kevin Feige himself had said it's going to be sort of almost an Indiana Jones type adventure sometimes, and that's like perfect for some of those. Somebody was reading their old Moon Knight comics, and it's like, and some of those adventures are great too, because it's like if they could kind of play into, as far as the TV show, Oscar Isaac has he can play kind of like kind of a dumb jackass pretty well. As well as being like a serious kind of adventure guy, and bench sort of the short stories, he kind of is like we've talked about before, like a dumb James Bond, that's what just makes it so funny and so great. Like it's
exactly
his way out of something. It's like, woof,
that's it.
That one.
He
give me some more money on to the next one.
I was going to say, like those instances where he was like, he had a python constricting it, kind of funny, kind of ridiculous situations. But I mean, there's so much you can like. For me, it's similar to that kind of the dark ages of Peggy Carter, where there could be just plenty of adventures in that time period that could be plundered because well, one, we haven't seen Moon Knight anyway on TV, but all that pre-Moon Knight stuff. Like he was also in the Marines. He was actually an ex-CIA agent. You could dive into that. You can do, and then he was a merc, a soldier for fortune. So not only I reread the Trial of Mark Spector from the Mark Spector Moon Knight one, and that was him in Bosco Verde, and that was really cool because there was no Moon Knight at all. Not that I don't like seeing Moon Knight there, but it was just him, and it was it was trying to kind of flesh out him as a soldier of fortune. He had this indiscretion, and he has a lot of them, we know, because he feels very guilty about what he's done before. That's one of his other things. So why not see that? Why not see him take blood money, and do stuff that he may not necessarily have a direct, action towards something bad like murder or something like that, but he could be party to some of this stuff, because we all know it's a fine line, because it culminates in him being with Frenchie and Bushman, and then Bushman overstepping the line. So you can't have him week in, week out as a merc overstepping the line every week, because it kind of dilutes that big event. But you can have him doing some stuff, I don't know, stealing stuff, or whacking corrupt officials. I don't know.
Yeah, or even maybe sometimes kind of going over the line, but
yeah,
it could be written in a way where it's like, well, he needed to, things like that. Like, I actually Marvel, you can pay me for this idea, but you could reboot Moon Knight, or Mark Spector Moon Knight, but instead of Mark Spector, Moon Knight, it's Mark Spector / Moon Knight. And one issue is a new Moon Knight adventure in the present, in the current Marvel universe. The next issue, starting back at maybe his Marine days, and then the next Moon Knight, and then maybe some CIA stuff in the Moon Knight, and then the next issue, and not even splitting it in the middle of the issue. One issue is a Moon Knight issue, and one.
I was about to say, Noel, let's bring back the anthology, but make it just purely Moon Knight. So I thought maybe the one issue per each is good as well, but why not just have multiple short stories, serial stories in the one comic? That'd be awesome. You have different times, different roles of Mark Spector / Moon Knight. I think that'd be great. It would give that.
Yeah, and you could fill in some of his mental illness too, which they've done in a lot of runs, filled in some of that, but they could really go back and kind of dig into like him having an episode during an adventure as a paid mercenary, or even like his like I said, they've covered a little bit about him getting kicked out of the military, but they could kind of go deep into some of his mental illness and why he was having some of these episodes. Now that they've filled in some of the reasons, exactly why it's happened, they can do some of the stories about him getting kicked out or just fucking around and having a bad.
I reckon that'd be great.
On a paid mission
as well, because I'm just thinking of the Jeff Lemire one. You get that small bit with him being discharged from the service. So again, you can have like a lead up of these little bits little things that he does, perhaps in the Marines, that has him just a bit off kilt, and culminating in his what do you call it, dismissal. So yeah, cool. Yeah,
and like why he's bitter toward the military. Whenever Captain America confronted him and like called him soldier, he's been like, don't call me. I love the fact that someone pointed out recently, I think it was during a lot of the talk about Punisher, and like whether Jerry Conway has really been like, people need to realize like what the Punisher is, and like these people who, not to date this episode, people who raided the Capitol here, some of them were wearing Punisher logos on their, and like they're like the people who created him are like,
exactly.
Punisher would murder these kind of people. And then there was a great panel where it was Punisher and Cap going at it.
Yes.
And Cap is just beating the crap out of Punisher, and he won't fight back.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Avengers are like, why isn't he fighting back? And then
he's like the pin-up boy for soldiers.
Why he wanted to fight. And Cap. And Captain America was like, no, he's just a fucking nut job. But
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of spite in there, a lot of bitterness. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is really good. So I would like to see some of those aspects.
Oh yeah.
Someone was just talking about, how they're Chris Evans possibly coming back as Captain America in the MCU again, and I was like, what I would like to see.
Yeah.
Because people are like,
Secret
what do you
Invasion,
think he's
yeah.
gonna do? It's probably just gonna be, a Skrull or something in Secret Invasion, which is great. Great that they'll have something like that. But I was like, I would like to see an alternate timeline. Secret Avengers
that would be cool.
From
Yeah.
after the Civil War movie where Moon Knight is on the team. And it's just Captain
That'd be cool.
America
Imagine
and Moon Knight
Chris Evans and
just
Oscar
bitching at
Isaac
each other
together. That'd be
constantly.
cool,
That would
man.
be really funny.
Yeah.
I could really see them.
Yeah,
just like
yeah, and that's one of the things
What?
one of the things I do like about this Oscar Isaac casting is that he has a lot of weight to his presence as just an actor and what he brings. He really does elevate. He will elevate the character of Moon Knight. I reckon we'll see a lot of people that will know Moon Knight a lot by the time this TV series comes out. So, yeah, exciting to see. Anyway, Noel, shall we wrap it there then? I'm just thinking. So Loonies, there we go. Let us know. Drop us a line. Yeah.
Wait.
Okay.
We got to mention one more that you just put on the prop sheet because I think it is so funny. And we've kind of
yes.
It just says,
bring that one back. Come on.
Let's talk about that for 2 seconds. Who wants to see Mark Spector?
I'd love to see Tigra on screen. I was very excited by the fact that she was going to be in an animated series, which was given the kibosh, unfortunately. We all know that Mark Spector, Moon Knight, had a thing with Tigra in the West Coast Avengers. Got to see it happen. Come on, you got to see something rekindled. Like even if it's a fact that. No, just in the comic story, like Tigra is like, oh, hello, Tigra, or what's her name, Greer. Hello, what are you doing here? And I don't know, she just comes in out of the blue, and maybe they're just even a team up. But if you have some underlying kind of, romance or smoldering, some sort of. Yeah, God, it's been too long. Where did the Beamers come? Yeah, I think so. Right. Yeah. God, what happened in that 200? He walked away, didn't he? He walked away from that institute. Yeah, I've got to reread that. But yeah, bring Tigra in. She's awesome. She needs more comic book time. Last time I saw her was in Kelly Thompson's West Coast Avengers, and she was oversized. She was being controlled or something, and then someone giganticized her, and she was wreaking havoc on the city. That's all, but she needs to be good.
Last time I saw her, she was in.
She was
in. I think it was Charles Schulz, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Hellcat fought her. She got controlled by it. That was last time I saw her. But I don't know.
No, I didn't. It's really good though. But I think she's another one. Although she looks flamboyant because she looks like a tiger, and her skill, like her power levels, are pretty modest. They're not over the top. She can just jump around. She's got claws, but they're not particularly like adamantium claws or anything like that. They're just claws. So I kind of like her because it's she's not overpowered or she's not anyway. Oh
God, it is a little.
It is too. I did not make the connection, but yeah. Anyway, we can look past that little indiscretion. But yeah, there you go. Okay, well, other honorable mentions just before as we wrap up. Anyway, Noel, I'll put in adamantium armor. Let's give that a go. Let's see that again. Let's see, even for one of wrist blasters. Although I don't really like the Crescent Dart wrist blasters, bring them back. Adamantium armor. More focus on Stephen Grant's wealth. I think that's not done that often, which I really. There was Spectre in the latter end of Mark Spector Moon Knight, which showcased a lot of his stuff. They do, yeah. Actually, I mean, it does pop up every now and again.
They talk about it a
Bendis
lot,
as well.
actually, Khonshu.
Although that's Mark Spector with the production company. That's not Stephen Grant in the Bendis run. But yeah, Stephen Grant stuff. Bemis showed a little bit of it, which was pretty cool.
Right.
I'd love to see that more. The Profiler, I think he would be really well used. He's such a creepy guy. He's a grub. Yeah. I think, as we mentioned as well, Uncle Ernst, the family history. I think that would be pretty. That goes hand in hand, I guess, with the Khonshu. How much influence does Khonshu really have on Mark? Yes, Diatrus, which I've got in there as well. I don't know. Yeah, I'd like to keep. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Diatrus? Just.
I think it was a neat idea.
Exactly. I was about to say, it could put on the back burner for a bit.
It could be a good Easter egg for later on. Yeah, I think it's a cool idea. I just I don't know. It's not my favorite idea, but it's not something I really want to see. Sort of I don't need to see much of a soap opera play out in a Moon Knight comic, but because it feels a little like that. But then again, so there's sort of like some of his family history. Sure. Which is cool. I mean, that's a way of building characters to actually show them as a human being. So that should be sprinkled in for sure.
Yeah. Actually, you just reminded me then, unsung aspects, more on Samuels than Netta then. Talking about cast, I want to see more Netta, more Samuels. So, all right, well, how about we wrap up this show, Noel? And thanks for joining. Thanks for coming on. Would you be keen to come on a bit later in the week to chat about the toy figures? Excellent. Okay, hopefully we get my people to speak to your people, and hopefully we can make that happen. But Noel, a huge thank. We'll pay you. I'll blueberry you or something. Old fashioned. So no, a bit. Will. No, so a big thank you to Noel. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for a nice catch up with the news. But looking forward to our review coming on later in the week. And for Looney's next phase, which will be towards the end of the week, is a first quarter. So it will be a Khonshu's Relics. And hopefully we'll get Noel back in to review the Walgreens exclusive Legends Moon Knight figure. So this should be fun. I know Noel has a figure. I certainly have a figure as well, both unopened. So for the first time, let's pop that cherry on that figure. Or the box. I don't know what. It's all over the place with sayings. Right, Lenny. So we'll catch you towards the end of the week. Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Noel. All right. Now, just for video purposes, and thank you, Loonies, just for video purposes, have you got that other link? Shall we jump onto that other one for the next episode? I'll send it again.
Yeah, why don't you? I just had to go.
Okay.
I just had to go to get vocal.
Okay, so I'll jump onto it. But also, do you need a break or anything?
Get it going.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that as well. But I'll jump on first, and then you can just jump on when you see me in there. Cool. All right, Patrinis, thank you. We'll see you in the other episode that we're about to do.
Sounds good.
Yeah.